What's up, guys? Dion Napier here with Amplify Vocal Studio, and I want to do a quick live today talking about how to overcome performance anxiety. So, performance anxiety affects amateurs to professional level performers. It's just a part of the walk, it's a part of the journey, it's a part of the reality. But there are ways that you can break through, learn to work with the performance nerves, if you will, instead of working against them. And it really will help you perform at a higher level. So let's get into it. So, the first thing you want to do is switch your terms. So no longer do we want to talk about, do we want to use the term performance anxiety, or do we want to say things like stage fright, nerves? We don't want to use those terms because those terms like the association with those terms bring fear. It brings a sense of being out of control, like there's this invisible enemy that wants to sabotage your best efforts and you have no control over it. Okay, so we want to cancel that term. Um, and we don't want to ignore the nervous feeling, but we want to rephrase it and redirect it. That's the key. And so instead of talking about being nervous and feeling nerves, we want to say excited energy. So it's this sense of anticipation. I see it as like if you get on a roller coaster and you're going up to the top right before you hit that steep drop, you know how you feel excited and it's kind of fun and you feel kind of the butterflies in your belly, but it's not a fear, really. I guess it could be a fear going on a roller coaster, but it's still a sense of anticipation and excitement. So we want to use the term excited energy, okay? Like, and what we're talking about is really the adrenaline. That adrenaline is there to really help propel you so that you can perform at a higher level. So it's not your enemy, it really is your friend. So, again, the first thing you want to do to start breaking through stage fright or performance anxiety is to switch the terms, okay? Now, the second thing you have to know is that to deal with performance anxiety or excited energy, the first thing you have to do is embrace it. Don't fear it. When you start to fear it, that's when it comes bigger and bigger and bigger and becomes uncontrollable. So there are a couple of main symptoms that you will experience when you start to feel this excited energy. Okay, so first category is physical. So, of course, when you get excited, right, before performance or old school nervous, you can experience things like shallow breathing, sweaty palms, bubble guts, butterflies in the belly. You got to go to the bathroom a lot, right? Dry mouth, tension in the body. You start to get tense. You can experience all of those things, and those are physical manifestations of the situation because you feel nervous. But here's the thing: what you focus on will grow. So there's a thing, there's a sports psychologist that I follow, and he talks about task relevant and task irrelevant responses. And so a response like sweaty palms, heart racing really fast before a performance, those are task irrelevant. And what that means is that just because you're experiencing that, it doesn't mean you cannot still go forth and perform what you need to perform. That's what that means. All right. So it's all a matter of focus, right? You feel the heart beating fast, you feel the palms sweaty, you feel the dry mouth, but you don't focus on it and you press through it and you still go out and do the performance that you need to do. Now, a task relevant manifestation you do want to pay attention to because it can affect your performance. So this would be things like muscle tension, especially when you're a singer. You don't want to go out tight. So when you feel your muscles start to tense up, you really want to do some stretches or do some things that can help you relax. You want to focus on relaxation until you can bring that tension down, okay? Also, too, shallow breathing. That can affect your performance, especially as a singer, an actor, a speaker. So if you notice that you're starting to get real high breaths, right? You want to focus on low, deep diaphragmatic breathing just to bring everything down so that it does not affect your performance, okay? So the biggest takeaway there is that, guys, you can feel the fear, you can feel the physical symptoms, but you can still perform. They don't have to stop you. So that's where we want to think differently. Just because you feel the physical symptoms, it doesn't mean you cannot keep moving forward, and you absolutely can. Okay. So now one was physical. Next is mental. Okay. So mental symptoms. So what happens when we start to feel stage fright is that our left brain is talking more than our right brain. So if you're not familiar with left brain and right brain activity, our left brain is responsible for words, numbers, analysis, logic. All right. Right brain is more creativity, free flow, sensing, imagination, hearing, more of that creative flow process, right? So when you're getting up to perform, we definitely don't need the left brain like interfering and getting in the way, because that's pulling you out of the creative flow, and it's causing hiccups, it's causing hesitations, and it's going to cause you to not perform your best. So what you have to do is practice shutting down that left brain, okay? And get into that right brain where you can just hear, see, and feel the music and just flow in that. Okay. And you have to practice that. And one way you can practice it is through what's called simulation training. So, what that means is, well, before I get into simulation training, so again, the feeling of stage fright. Sorry, I lost my thought. The feeling of stage fright and that excited energy, the only difference is the way you interpret it. So here's an example. If you walk into an audition space, it's a room, it's unfamiliar to you, and you notice like, dang, this is a dead room. I'm not gonna sound good. Dead just meaning like the acoustics are not good, right? I'm walking in here, the acoustics are not good. Crap, I'm gonna sound a mess, right? So what result are you probably going to get? You're probably going to sound a mess, right? Because you just told yourself that. You just focused on that, right? Instead, if you interpret that situation as yes, or even if it's not a dead room, even if you're feeling like heart palpitations, right? Your heart's beating fast, you're nervous, and it's like, oh crap, my heart's about to beat out of my chest. I know I'm not going to sound good. Oh my God, what's going on? The way you rephrase that is, yes, my heart is beating fast. Yes, my knees are shaking, but yes, I can still perform. So it's just a matter of interpretation. So you want to train your mind to not focus on the physical manifestations, but to stay in that place of flow, to stay in that place of creativity, and to interpret those responses rightly. Even though they're there, you don't have to focus on them. Okay. So interpretation, or the way you think about it, is huge. All right. So now let's talk about simulation training. So this is a strategy to help you break through stage fright. All right. So the deal with simulation training is that you want to get into an environment where you can practice, where you're feeling the nervous physical symptoms. So you're feeling the butterflies in the belly, you're feeling the heart racing. You want to walk into a space that you've never been into before, and turn on a recorder and perform and don't stop, right? This is simulation training, and it's really powerful because it's training that muscle, right? It's training you to be able to essentially feel the fear and do the performance anyway. It's training you to feel all of the sensations that you're feeling, all of those task irrelevant symptoms, and still push through and deliver at a high level. That's what simulation training is. So some ways you can do that, like I said, go to a space that's unfamiliar to you, that's really live, right? That's got really great acoustics. Go in there and perform, turn on a recorder, and then post it on social media. You have to create or simulate, right, a situation that's going to get you what will feel nervous or get that excited energy rolling, and you practice playing through it. Okay. So that's just one little takeaway and a practical way that you can practice feeling the excited energy and still not letting it basically punk you out, right? I feel this excited energy and I use this adrenaline. That's what it is. I use this adrenaline to help propel me and to help me produce a greater performance than I've ever produced. Okay. So we really want to change our mind around stage fright. We want to change it and start using the term excited energy. That's number one. And the second tip is to embrace it. Don't fear it, because when you fear it, it makes it grow. Okay. And then practically, you want to practice simulation training where you can get in a state where you feel that excited energy, and you just practice and practice and drill and drill and drill until you get very good at feeling all this energy moving through your body, but you're still able to deliver and perform. Okay, so if you have questions or comments, you can drop them in the chat, and I'll respond. Also, too, just a little schedule change. This will be our final 4 p.m. Call, or 4 p.m. class. I'm going to change the schedule, so I'll be going live in the month of May. I'll do Tuesdays at noon. Okay, so that's a little schedule change. If you can join me live, join me. Bring your questions. If not, you can always catch the replays and drop them in the comments, and I'll respond then. All right, you guys have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.